We found out about her having gastroschisis when I was 14 weeks pregnant. And basically they put her intestines in a bag and hang it over her while she's laying flat on a little bed. And so from there, they just kind of let nature and gravity push her intestines in. So they did a surgery to close her intestines, and she's so tiny that they couldn't get all of her skin to close. And they ran a lot of tests on her, and that's when we discovered she has a malrotation of her intestines, which basically means her intestines are, instead of following a pathway like normal intestines do, hers are just kind of in there crazy. Because of gastroschisis, she doesn't have a belly button. So she has an umbilical hernia where her belly button should be, and it looks like a belly button, but it's just a hole in her stomach. When Marley was 7 months old, we found out I was pregnant again with a baby boy, and everything was great whenever I was pregnant with him, no problems, everything was fine. I had him on February 11th of this year, and shortly after I had him in the hospital, he just got really sick, and nobody knew why he was so sick. And they found out I acquired a virus that's a common virus that people just pass around, kind of like a cold or the flu. The problem with the virus is it's really contagious, and it doesn't affect adults or older kids like it would affect a baby or an unborn child. Surprised I didn't cry.
When we were talking, I felt something wet.
You did? Aww.
I'm guessing there was something.
That means you're a sweet big brother.
I found a lump in one of my breasts, and I just kind of ignored it. Well, it kept kind of growing a little bit. This guy comes in, he's like, hey, we found something. It's nothing. Look at me in the eyes, telling me it's nothing. No worries, don't worry about it. But we need you to come back for a biopsy. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, okay, better safe than sorry. So Brad's at work, and so I go a couple days later and I get my biopsy. And so they're like, well, we'll call you in a couple days and tell you results. Well, anyway, so I just picked up some of my friends' kids that day. So I had a car full of kids, and we had just pulled up to 7-Eleven to get ices. And
Ices! Yum.
And the phone rings and it says, you have breast cancer, and my heart just stopped. All I could think about the whole time was these guys and all of their friends. I mean, because they're like family, all of their friends are my own kids, and so that was what was the hardest for me, because it's like, you don't get breast cancer with 4 little kids. And let's see, I took Andy in October of 2011. She had been having a lot of bladder issues, and it was just like she never really potty trained, and so it was just kind of odd. And we just thought, like, he just kept saying, like, oh, she's just being lazy, she's a kid, she wants to play or whatever. But it got to the point where we would be walking somewhere and she'd throw herself to the floor and sit, like she couldn't control her bladder at all. Like, she was having accidents everywhere. And so finally I called a urologist at Children's Hospital. What happened with her is her 5th vertebrae in her back never fused together. So a bunch of tissue went through to her spinal cord, and I guess she was born with it, and none of us knew it because you can't tell by just looking at your backside that this happened, which they were kind of shocked that she could walk and run as well as she could. She has an incision on her back, and she calls it her scratch. It's so cute.
But this was all within the past year. I mean, all of this happened within the past year. Jenny was like, what did we do? What have we done wrong?
I'm having a hard time. The big thing that was the hardest too is to try to pretend like with your kids that everything's okay.
It's hard seeing your kids hurt. It's hard.
So you definitely, it opens your eyes to what is important in life. nothing is more important than your family and your closest friends. Nothing. And I don't care, like, you could have your shoes, you could have this car, none of that crap matters except your family.
That's it.
And now you guys are in our lives, and you guys are our family. I mean, you really are. And we will never be able to repay you guys for the way that you guys are helping.
So it's about 6:45 in the morning, and we have to be at the Jimmy Evers Center at 7:45 because Brock's gonna get a spinal tap.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Say good morning. No.
So you can probably hear my daughter Reese crying. She is almost 6 months old, and since I'm nursing, she'll go with us this morning. And I have another daughter, JC, who is 6. She goes to kindergarten, so my mother-in-law is coming over in just a little bit to stay with her. Grammy, she didn't want me to make her lunch. She wants you to make her lunch.
Oh, I could do that.
I know you want chocolate milk and goldfish, buddy. We'll get them after we go to clinic, okay? I know.
Brock's just really used, I mean, he's been doing this since he was 11 months old, so he really doesn't know anything different. So he's just used to it. So it's kind of one of the good things about him being diagnosed so young. He doesn't remember what it was like before. So you don't baby him. That's just the way it is, and he's used to it. We spend a lot of time sitting around and waiting.
We'll sit here and wait. It's just the way it is. I'm right here, buddy. Hey, I'm right here, bud. Hold on, it's right here. Don't move. Way to go, Brock. Way to go. You did great.
Jake, you want me to pull his chair out and lower it
No, I'm
down?
alright. Thank you.
We just finished doing Mark's spinal tap. He's recovering from the sedation meds right now. You can hear him. He's kind of loopy. They're getting ready to move him to a recovery room. He's got to, because of the spinal tap, he's got to lay flat on his back for 30 minutes. They're moving? Yeah. The other one's moving? Yeah.
Children's has done a wonderful job trying to make it not look like a hospital, but it still looks like a hospital. And so any chance that you can get away and focus on something else, you know, I used to tell my friends, they come up and visit Brock and I, bring us dinner, I'd beg them to just tell me about their mundane day, because the last thing I want to talk about is the situation I've been dealing with all day. And it's those things, it's the little things, you know. People think, well, you know, you want to go on vacation, you want to go to the Grand Canyon, you want to go do something. No, I'd like to, you know, barbecue out. You know, maybe someone wants to sit and watch a Thunder game, or someone wants to sit and watch one of their favorite TV shows that they haven't had a chance to sit and watch, you know? And so if you could go somewhere where it doesn't look like a hospital and could just let your mind go somewhere other than that, I think it's great. I think families will really enjoy it. If you can get a place together where a family can get together and it not be in a hospital room, where they could sit and eat or just do an activity, play a board game, something like that, that's going to change your spirits and just give you a little bit more energy so that you can continue on. And you know where you have to go back to, but at the same time, a little breather, a little break. I mean, 5 minutes or an hour can make a world of difference.